Hi, and welcome to Moonbeam Connections. I'm Jackie Lee. Today on Seriously Universe, Explain Yourself, we're going to look at why are you testing me? So if you feel like you're just facing a whole bunch of tests lately, you don't know what's going on, why is this happening? We are going to look at that today. I do set the intention that these messages find those who need them when they need them. So if you did find this message, it is meant for you. It doesn't mean the whole thing's meant for you. It just means that, or it could just mean part is meant for you. So take what resonates, leave the rest behind, and please enjoy. So we're looking at, we got cards falling out everywhere. Okay, let me get paying attention here. So why are you testing me, please? Why are you testing me, please? Try that again. Just one card, please. Why are you testing me? Why are we being tested? Why do we feel like we're being tested? Let's see, please. There we go. Okay. So let's see. Ooh, 10 of Wands. Okay. So this is definitely being tested. So this is all about having burdens, responsibility, being stressed, being weighed down. It's just like having so much on your plate. You've got this and this and this and this and this, and you're just being weighed down by all this responsibility that you have. And so now it is the 10, so it's like you're almost at the end of the journey. So it's about having a lot of responsibility and being weighed down, but you're almost at the end of it. You're almost, going to finish it. Or it can be about you need to not have all these burdens and responsibilities. So take a look at what you are carrying, and are you carrying only your stuff, or are you carrying this person's stuff over here and this person's stuff over here and this person's stuff over here? And what you should really be doing is downloading to other people. So you take care of yourself, you take care of your responsibilities. I'm taking care of my responsibilities. So it is all about being weighed down, burdened by having a ton of responsibilities, a ton of things you're either supposed to do, or a ton of things that you've taken on that are actually others to do. And you're almost at the end of that journey. But to get to that end of the journey, it may be that you have to unload some of the responsibilities that you've taken on that aren't actually yours to carry, and give them to the other people to carry so that you can make it to the end. So I hope that makes sense, but I will get out my board. As always, I do write in silence, and then I dub over it. So sometimes it doesn't quite sound right, or I can't quite read my writing, don't know what I wrote, and I stumble a bit, but I try my best. That's all I can do. So I will be silent for a moment, get into my meditation mode, and we'll see what Spirit wants to tell us about why do I feel like I am being tested. You are never being tested, but you are learning lessons. You feel as if you are being tested because you are learning the lesson. Once you have learnt a lesson, things will come along that feel like tests, but are actually showing you have learned and changed and grew. And now you will not repeat the cycle, but don't be burdened by this. Do not be weighed down by others' stuff. You are learning how to carry your own weight and how to allow others to carry their own. This is the lesson you learned. But when others react, when others backlash, it may feel like a test, but it is actually demonstrating for you how you've changed and adapted, and it is allowing the other person to also change and adapt, even if they show resistance, even if they don't want to. Carrying others' burdens does not help others. It only burdens ourselves and prevents others from their own growth and their own potential. Put down what's not yours. Don't feel guilty. See it as an opportunity for both of you to learn and grow and fulfill your life's purpose. Love. What Spirit is saying here is that really you're not even though it may feel like you're being tested, you're actually not being tested. You've just learned these lessons. And so as things pop up that feel like, oh, this is a test, this is a test, this is a test, it's not really a test. It's things that would have popped up anyways. And if you hadn't learned the lesson, you would have got back into that same cycle, whatever that is, right? I would say taking on other people's responsibilities. So if people always ask you, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? In the past, you always took it on, always took it on, always took it on. And now you've set a boundary and you're like, no, I'm burning out. I don't have enough time to do all this. So I'm setting this boundary and I'm only going to do A, B, C and D, E, F are other people's responsibilities and they can take care of them. So you've set these boundaries and now people keep coming back to you with D, E, F, D, E, F, D, E, F. And you're like, why do you keep testing me? Why do you keep testing me? Why do you keep testing me? But it's not that you're being tested. It's that this would have happened anyways. And now you're able to see, it's to show you that you learned this lesson. You're not going to fall back in that trap when they come back at you with D, E, F or whatever letters I used, D, E, F, D, E, F, D, E, F, D, F, you're now like, no, I have the boundary. No, I have the boundary. And what you'll find too is at the first time you say, no, I have this boundary, you feel really guilty, you feel bad. But then after a while, you start sort of getting confident in yourself. You get within your strength, within your power. And you're like, no, this is unreasonable for you to ask me this. This is unreasonable for you to expect me to take on your responsibilities. Like I have my own responsibilities, you have your responsibilities, and yet you expect me to take on all your responsibilities so you have none. And that's ridiculous. And so it's not that you're being tested, it's just you're not falling back into the cycle. When the cycle comes back at you, you're like, nope, I'm not going to be on that train, right? I'm going to be over here cycling in a healthy way, not over here cycling in an unhealthy way. And so Spirit's just saying, make sure that you're not getting weighed down by other people's stuff, right? But this is what you're learning. This is what you've learned. This is what you're learning is not to carry other people's stuff, not to get weighed down by other people's stuff. You have your own responsibilities. You're going to take care of them. You're going to let other people take care of their own. And in one way, Spirit is saying that this, here we go. So when you take on others' responsibilities, you're actually preventing them from their own growth, right? Oh, I'll do this for you so you don't have to. Like, let's even say like a little kid tying shoes. And you're like, and they get frustrated tying shoes and they're having trouble tying their shoes. And so you're like, fine, I'll just do it. And you just tie their shoes and you tie their shoes and you tie their shoes and you tie their shoes. And that's not your responsibility. I mean, obviously when they're little, you got to teach them and stuff, right? But instead of teaching them, which was your responsibility, so that they could take over the responsibility for it, you just took on that responsibility all yourself. I'll just keep it. I'll just tie your shoes. I'll tie your shoes. I'll tie your shoes. I'll tie your shoes. And all of a sudden you have a teenager who can't even tie their own shoes because they never learned. Because you just took that responsibility from them and they never actually learned to tie their own shoes. And it's like in any situation, if, even doctor's appointments, if you're making doctor's appointments for your adult child and you just take on that responsibility. Oh, I'll make sure I make your doctor's appointments. I'll make sure I call you and remind you to have the doctor's appointment. I'll make sure you go and pick up your meds. I'll go drop off your prescriptions at the pharmacy. I'll go pick up your prescriptions. You are taking that responsibility. You're weighing yourself down. You're being overburdened because now you have someone else's responsibility, but you're also not allowing that person, your child, whoever it is, to grow, to learn how to make their own doctor's appointments, to get confident. You might, they're anxious, they're nervous. People are anxious and nervous about things. They don't become unanxious and unnervous about stuff by avoiding it. That's how we become more and more and more and more nervous and build it up. And we're never able to accomplish it and make it bigger than it actually is. Whereas you push through it. Yeah, you're nervous, but we're going to try. I'll sit beside you while you talk on the phone. I'll help you while you talk on the phone. I'll go to your first doctor's appointment, whatever it is, right? I'll go to the pharmacy the first time with you, show you how the process goes. But now I'm going to push you out of the nest and I'm going to allow you to go and take on this responsibility and learn for yourself that you are competent enough to book your doctor's appointments, to go, to take your prescriptions to the pharmacy, to get your medication, that you're able to do that you're able to grow, that you're able to learn. And so if you're taking on other people's responsibilities, you're actually taking away, you're not really helping them. And of course, sometimes taking on somebody's responsibilities for a short period of time to help unload their burden so they can do something else. Obviously, that is helping. But I'm talking the long term. I'm talking you just take over something for somebody completely. All you're doing is making them stuck in this, I can't do that, I'm not capable, I need help for this, and you're not allowing them to grow and for them to carry their own responsibilities. So not only are you being burdened or overburdened, weighed down, burnt out, tired, whatever it is, because you take on the other person's responsibilities, this person over here is not able to grow and learn and accomplish and get out of their maybe perpetual cycle of always relying on others, always, having to need someone else to do it for them and not being able to stand independently by themselves at all. So I hope this made sense. I hope I explained it. But what Spirit is saying is you're not being tested. You're just being shown or see that you are out of this cycle, right? You're not in that cycle, because the cycles will come back and, well, we go this way. Cycles just keep going and going, and you're either jumping back into the cycle and going with it, or you're like, nope, that's not the cycle for me. I'm over here in a healthier cycle. So you're just never being tested. You're just not going back into the wheel to learn the lesson again, because you've already learned the lesson, if that makes sense. And Spirit is also saying that do not get weighed down by other people's stuff, because that's not helping anyone. It's not helping you because you're too weighed down, and it's not helping the other person because they're not able to grow from taking on their own responsibilities and burdens. I hope that summed it up well. But I'm sending you peace, love, and happiness today. Bye for now.